well, I go and I spend this kind of money on this material or this product, so how can they dare say that I should be pushed away from my right? You don't have any rights. The fact that you're taking your IOU, your wage that you went and worked for, to go and support a corporation that doesn't care about you is already showing the fact that you have accepted being disenfranchised. I saw a post earlier this week, or actually a few days ago, because now it's Monday. And don't get me wrong, I don't really follow by the calendar. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. I don't follow by time, according to the clock, or any of that. Because that's also accepting corporation policies. Anybody will tell you, any job I've ever had, if I'm supposed to be there at 8, I might get there at 8:15, 9:15, or even 12:15, according to the clock. Because of whatever time I woke up, whatever condition I was in, and whatever I'm going to be like when I get to work. If I do show up to work, then I'm going to do my job. I might not be there when you want me to be there, but once I get there, I take care of my responsibilities, and sometimes I even handle someone else's within the time that's still left allowed. If my shift is 8 hours, 2 hours late, then yeah, I do 6 hours of work and then some, and then I leave without complaint. And most of the time, people are not going to complain about my work because I make sure that not only do I take care of what I'm supposed to do, but I also make sure that the next person is not going to have to deal with something that I was supposed to take care of. That's not fair to the next person. Disenfranchised. I saw a post a few days ago. A guy is standing in a restaurant, sushi bar, that claims to have a certain dress code, and the guy is standing there wearing some tennis shoes when the dress code states, you need to be dressed nicely, and tennis shoes are not allowed. Right now we're going through a pandemic, which has actually started to thin out, except for in certain areas, because of the fact that we were supposed to actually make sure that the disease itself did not spread. And a simple way to take care of that was to make sure that we all wore facial covering over our noses and our mouths. In this particular post that I saw, the guy is standing there arguing his point with his nose exposed. Let me show you something. Facial mask. Whenever I leave the house, I have it in my pocket. If I know that I'm going to be around anybody and it's going to be closer than 6 feet distance, social distancing, if I know that I'm going to be around people, I have my mask and I put it on. Something real short and simple and easy, all right? Proper facial covering. You can still hear what I'm saying. There's no reason for me to remove my mask to talk to you. This guy was complaining while his mask was like this. Now, what good does that do anybody? He might be a carrier of the disease, blowing viruses in and out of his nose. Or there might be someone else in that environment who's carrying the disease. So whether he's breathing in and out from carrying it himself, he might also just be picking it up from somebody else in the crowd. Something real simple. They tell you to cover your face. Our skin absorbs on a daily basis. It's called osmosis. Each one of our pores in our skin still circulates what's going on in the air. Disenfranchised. The man was wearing a brand new pair of tennis shoes, proudly proclaiming how he had spent X amount of money on these shoes proudly proclaiming about how much money he spends at that particular establishment and any other establishment in his local area. Here's the thing, people. If there's a business, food, if you're in the food industry, then you know all of the materials, all of the resources, everything that goes on that menu has to be delivered some way, somehow. So the transportation industry is ran by different corporations, because there's the trucking corporation, there's the petrol, the gasoline corporations, there's the actual food distribution centers, all of the different food stuffs. In a sushi restaurant, you have seafood. These are all different corporations, different companies. So here's the big issue. You want to talk about not being represented and not having a chance to vote? Maybe it's because you don't own a corporation. You rent your house. You rent your apartment. You pay bills on a car. You pay bills in order to even talk on the phone that you use. People are running out trying to buy a $400 or $500 phone and then have to pay another $100 per month just to use the phone. Where's your telecommunications corporation? Where's your manufacturing corporation in order to make cellular phones? These are the pertinent questions. While everybody's talking about how there's some people running around calling themselves a militia and threatening this and threatening that. Come on, people. Unless we forget, presidents aren't even elected by popular vote. Presidents are elected by the Electoral College. The Electoral College is influenced by corporations, lobbyists, whether they hand over a check directly saying this is how much we are going to pay to fund your programs, or if they meet up over lunch and say we want another program done and this is going to pay for that. Either way, you have the freedom to vote, but all that is just that. You're checking a box. The people who really run the country run corporations.